The biggest one. This is the headline story. That is the Ukrainian drone strike on Kremlin. There was a drone strike on Kremlin recently. Drone was downed with no victims or material damage to the Kremlin. It was said to be rigged with Canadian bombs and stopped by electronic warfare systems, which disabled the drones before they could reach their target. Ukraine denied any involvement, but days before, a Ukrainian oligarch, Volodymyr Yatsenko, offered 549,000 for anyone who committed drone terror in Russia's Red Square ahead of the country's Victory Day parade. Zelensky, around the time of attack and after the attack, wasn't in Ukraine. Possibilities of attack. Failure of Russian air defense. Possible. It is possible that Russian air defense failed and drone traveled all the way from Ukraine to the Kremlin in Moscow. I don't know if that is true, but if it is true, then it's embarrassing, honestly, because you couldn't just intercept the drone at the border and anywhere in between. You had to intercept it right before it landed on the Kremlin dome. It seems embarrassing. Second one, attack from inside Russia. Seems possible. I don't know if I don't know what kind of drone it was. It's already hard to get explosives near the Kremlin, and if it was a military drone, it seems unlikely. If it was a civilian drone, a commercial Chinese drone, then maybe it is possible that the attack came from inside Russia. Third one, this is what the Western media is calling false flag. I don't know what would be the motive of a false flag operation, because first, it didn't attack civilians. It didn't even damage the Kremlin dome. It just landed on the dome. It just landed on the dome. Seems like a false flag, but if this was a false flag, it makes Russian government look weak. I don't know if Putin wants that. I don't. Considering all the propaganda that has came from the Russian government all these years about Putin and how he's strongman he is, all the comics and all his martial arts shows and all that. I don't know. I don't know if Russian government wants to make itself look weak. So it seems unlikely. I don't know what kind of attack it was. It's hard to tell. Possibilities of impact. Well, another possibility of attack, that the Russian air defense allowed the drone to enter deliberately and just deactivated it just before it detonates on the Kremlin. That seems likely. It's like a mixture of false flag and air defense failure. It doesn't make sense otherwise. I don't know why Russia would do it, because if this was a false flag, it was very weak. It makes Russians look weak. I don't know if Russian government wants to look weak. Possibilities of impact. The attempt to make Russia weak backfired. It's more like a pinprick, more like a stinging prick, This wasn't a terrorist attack or anything like that. It doesn't look like a terrorist attack. It doesn't look like it symbolically hurt Russia or it, just some narrative, all that. It honestly, the attempt to make Russia look weak backfired. But the Russian retaliation will not come without proper planning. Russia will not just escalate. Oh, the drone came in. We must attack now. No. Russia will retaliate, but in a proper way. They're not just going to. We must attack Ukraine now. We must escalate our attack. That's not gonna happen. Russia will retaliate, but it will retaliate properly. It will plan properly. Now, many people say this, and I'm inclined to agree that such attacks aren't planned in Kiev, but in Washington. Why would you want to take out a leader of a nuclear-powered nation? Not just any nuclear-powered nation, the biggest nuclear-powered nation. The biggest nuclear power. Why would you want to take out a leader with a drone? Unless, the second biggest power tells you, yeah, we got your back. Don't worry about nuclear weapons. I don't know. These attacks, they're definitely planned in Washington, I think. And I've thought about this since the special military operation turned into partial mobilization. Putin will do the exact thing to Ukraine what he did to Chechnya. There are three possibilities discussed about future of Ukraine. First, Russia will get eastern Russian-dominated Ukraine and rest of Ukraine will be in NATO. This is of course Russia's red line and one of the reasons for this war. I think this outcome is unlikely. Second, Russia and Poland will divide Ukraine and Ukraine will cease to exist. This outcome is possible but also unlikely as this will move NATO borders east via Poland. Although that has already happened with Finland entering NATO. Third, Russia will keep annexed Ukrainian territories and annex further Ukrainian territories with Odessa and possibly link to Transnistria in Moldova on the southwestern side of Ukraine. Rest of Ukraine will be an autonomous state inside Russia, just like Chechnya, if not just completely annexed into Russia. So that's the big story.